Hi, everyone. Welcome back. I'm Ashley Turner, and I am here with my dear friend and soul sister, Amber Krzys. Thank you for joining us.
Oh my gosh, thank you for having
Yeah.
me.
Amber is the creator of Body Heart, which I know many of you are familiar with. It's just literally exploded over the last couple of years. And her new program, Rock Your Body Challenge, which is launching tomorrow, actually. And the whole focus of both of her programs is increasing body image, women's empowerment, and weight loss in a really mindful and unique and totally revolutionary way. So I am pretty familiar with it, but tell everyone on the call about your program and just a few minutes about your whole mission.
Sure. Well, first, I just want to thank you, Ashley, so much for having me here and sharing me with your audience.
Oh,
I love
yay.
what you do. I love the sisterhood component that you're really creating in your work, and I just feel like it's so much in alignment because we got
Thank
to
you
support,
so
each
much. I
other.
know, I know. And the
Yeah.
reality is that so many of us are suffering from the very same challenges. I really struggle with body image issues. I have through my whole career. I talk to so many of my clients that do. And I think the more transparent we are about it, the more empowering it is. And the more we just release any sort of guilt or shame or secrets around it. And it's really, for the benefit of all.
Absolutely,
Hmm.
absolutely. So my story, it's always I tell it a little bit differently every time, but I'm going to try to do like the 2 minute version. So basically, I grew up as a dancer and an actress. I grew up in West Virginia with my mother, a single parent environment, and I think growing up without my father present created some of the issues that I had around my body and eating and things like that that really exploded by the time I got into the field of dance and acting. And so much of my life was about trying to make my body smaller, trying to fit into this certain mold. I'd
Hmm.
go to these dance auditions and I'd dance really well, but wouldn't get the job. And the person who was thinner, would. And so it was like this cycle. And I really bought into the idea that I would be happier if I had a different body. I would be in a relationship. I would be making more money. I would have, X, Y, and Z. And that was the belief, the trap I was stuck in.
Hmm.
And I lived that way for about 20 years. And then at one point I hit a breaking point. All within a 2 week time span. I was going through a breakup. And this was with a person that I thought I was going to spend the rest of my life with. And he actually said to me, I wish you were taller. I wish you were thinner. I wish you had
Oh,
larger breasts.
oh.
Yeah. And I mean, and I should say, I asked him if he ever wished my body were different. So he didn't just start that conversation on his own.
Right. And then that's not your man. That's not someone who's empowering and supporting seeing you.
Totally, totally. But at the time, I was also really stuck believing that. So, of
Sure.
course, I'm going to draw in somebody
Right.
who believes that too.
Exactly.
So, I was devastated from that. I had lost, actually, I was down to my tiniest weight ever as an adult. I got down to 113 pounds,
Oof.
and I still didn't like what I saw when I looked in the mirror.
Right.
And I had my first bad review. So all three of those things happened within a 2 week time span. And it was like my reality was shattered, or my identity was shattered.
Hmm.
And so I started to really question, how small do I have to be to feel good enough? Like
Hmm.
there's got to be something else here. And that's really what drove me to start saying, how can I show up differently? How can I break this belief cycle that I'm in? How can I learn to just let my body be?
Hmm.
And that's really through my own experience of trial and error, looking at my behaviors with food, with exercise, with my awful stinking thinking, with my relationship with joy, my relationship with spirit. And through those, I got to this amazing place of accepting this body that I have. I'm about 130 to 140 pounds at any, given point in my life. That seems to be where my body wants to reside. So can I just embrace that and
Yeah.
be cool there? And that's what's happened. And so now what I do through Body Heart is help people shift their perspective and really form a friendship with their body instead of
Hmm.
making their body the enemy.
It's so healing, and I just relate to everything. As soon as I saw your very first post on Body Heart years ago, I remember, I reached out to you and I was like, I want to be a part of this. I want to help you out because this is the same demon that has run my life. It was running my life for so long, for definitely 15 years. I would honestly say only in the last few years have I really revolutionized that number, that beholden myself to that number. And it's it's terrorizing. It's the inner critic, and it keeps, and I had the same thing of the excuses. I would say, I won't be on the cover of this or that, until I get down to this number. I'm not going to shoot a yoga DVD until I get down to this number. I don't want to do that because I don't look like these other girls in yoga poses. And before yoga, I was acting. And so it was the same thing. And same exact dialogue of I'm not going to be, find my man and my partner until I'm down to that number. And then the irony is I actually got down to that number, like 125, 123 recently. And I went, and I remember I was surprised. I went to the gym and I saw the number and I was like, it's been years of me like trying, because I'm also like 100, 130, 135 pounds, like in there. And I was like, wow, I'm no happier today than I was yesterday. So it's not about that. And I just want to, offer that to everyone out there listening, because we hold ourselves prisoner, and it's really about getting into the mind and unraveling the root of that, getting to the root of that, and then doing a lot of reconditioning, because our society and our culture is based around this. And it's a horrible reality, but we're the only ones that can shift it, and it can only shift from inside.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly.
So now that we know your story, before we go on, I'd love to know. So this program is a weight loss program, but how is it different from other weight loss?
It's actually not a weight loss program. That's what makes it different.
Right.
To me, because I had done 20 years of focusing on weight loss programs, never, ever having sustainable results. Mm-hmm. Like maybe I'd lose 10 pounds, but then within 6 months, it would all come back.
Yep.
And so the one thing that I have found to be sustainable is learning to accept and embrace the body that I have, right? To really take responsibility for the actions I have taken that have gotten me to this point, and then starting to build that friendship, as I mentioned before. So it's like, this is the best way that I can equate it. It's like if I'm a big Apple fan, like Mac products. Right. I don't stand in line for like hours on end waiting for like the first edition when it comes out. But I really love my products. But for my computer, I have Apple Care, and I have a case for it. And like, I want to take care of it because I want it to last a really long time. That is the way that I help people start to relate to their bodies.
Right.
You start to value it. And intrinsically, when you start to care for it, your choices are different, right? So you start to come at it from a place of, instead of what can I eat and what can I eat, instead of food being good or bad, it becomes about, what do I feel like? Like what do you feel like eating today? What's going to cause you to thrive? What do you need right now?
Right.
And then you go from there. Sometimes it's a salad. Sometimes it's a turkey burger. Sometimes it's French fries. Sometimes it's ice cream. Like, so then you're not living these restrictive rules. You're also then able to go, oh, I'm feeling full. I can stop now. Or when it comes to exercise, does this make me feel good, or does this make me hurt? Like, I mean, I used to train for marathons, and it was like I would push myself, and that wasn't taking care of my body.
Right.
I mean, she was talking loud and clear, right? My ankle is killing, like, your ankle is killing you. Please stop, please stop. And I'm like, I'm going until finally she's like, I'm going to make you stop. I'm going to make it so you can't exercise. So that, to me, you start there. You start from a place of love. And anybody who's watching going, but I don't love my body. I'm never going to love my body. There's nothing that I like when I look in the mirror. Trust me, I hear you. And I hear you saying that isn't possible. And time again, the clients that I've worked with start out the exact same way. And by the end, they're like, wow, I never dreamt that it would be possible to see my body differently without it making a change.
Right.
And that's what I offer, because it really is what's going on inside of here.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Really reclaiming that, that autonomy, and that taking responsibility for whatever those attitudes are that are creating those habits and those actions, which are then creating the results, whether it's just our state of being or the actual, effects that it has on our body. So yeah, I love that. So I think your approach is really amazing, but I'm going to just get real, because I know there are a lot of people that really do want to lose weight. So what would you say to them?
Well, it piggybacks a little bit on what I was just saying, in that when your body is so wise, and when you start to develop trust within that relationship and you start to care for it, excess weight will fall off, right? Because the thing with weight that's tricky, and I know this was for me, it was like I was eating right and I was exercising and I wasn't losing weight, and it was so frustrating. And it was almost like by making that be the sole focus, the weight loss being the sole focus, it was like I was saying, I need fixing. I'm not good enough today.
Yeah.
And that belief being embedded in there is almost what keeps you from having lasting results.
Yeah.
And so that's why I start with, you're enough today. You're enough right now. It may not look like what you want it to look like, but if you can start to work some of that internal work, right? So, because I do work from the inside out. So it's like, a lot of times weight is, it's emotional weight. It's protection. We've gotten hurt. We don't want to show up. We don't want to be seen. And there are processes that I lead people through to help sort of shed that, to release that emotional weight or the stress weight, so that they're actually showing up differently and leading and living in life more fully from a more fulfilled place.
Yeah. It's interesting because, I had that thought for so long, like I'm not, I can't do this. I can't do a DVD until I lose this weight. And it was all, it's just that last 10 pounds that sort of, I was in jail with the last 10 pounds. And what's ironic is that then a huge DVD company came to me and they asked me to create a DVD program for them. And the first one that they wanted me to do was called Yoga for Weight Loss. And I just thought it was so ironic. I was like, this is hilarious. Like, I don't feel like the skinny yoga girl. I'm not the ballet yoga girl, and I have a curvy body. And I was like, wow, why are they, my first thought sort of at the time, which was years ago, was why are they coming to me to lead a yoga for weight loss program? And then my second thought, because I was literally scared shitless, I was like, oh my God, I can't do that. People are going to make fun of me. They're going to think, why is she up there leading this? My next thought was, okay, this is your dharma. Like, because I knew that because this had been such a huge issue for me and my body image, that's why I had manifested it, that I, of course, was the perfect person to speak to this, because it really wasn't about weight loss for me. It was about weight wellness. It was about everything that you're talking about, transforming from the inside out. And so, I just am so much in sync with everything that you're saying. And when you understand like the law of manifestation, of course, if we're focusing on the negative, if we're focusing on what we don't want, whatever we focus on is what we're creating. Yeah. So if we're focusing on the shaming of, I don't like my body, I don't like this, I want to lose this, or I need to get out of credit card debt, and we're identifying with the negative, we're creating more of the negative. So when you can start to reframe it and shapeshift your identity to a place of wholeness, abundance, perfection, perfectly imperfect, then it will start to manifest. And I do a lot of work with the chakras. And so, weight is all about the first chakra and our relationship to our body, and do we feel safe in the world? And so when you can get people to understand the emotional component underneath of it, and how it might be a defense mechanism or very deep unconscious beliefs, perhaps having to do with breakups or even deeper layers of abuse, sexual abuse, emotional abuse, wherever you didn't feel safe in your body, and how you've insulated that.
Exactly. Exactly. And, the other thing I thought of too, a lot of people say they want weight loss, but it's usually they have a want beyond that. It's the life that they'll lead.
Right. Exactly.
So it's really not that they're after weight loss. They're after freedom. Right. They're after confidence. They're after more joy. Right. So, and the thing is, those things you can actually have right now.
Right.
It's the belief that you're telling yourself, it's the part of you that's telling yourself you can't have those until you're X, Y, and Z. And that's what we want to shatter.
Yeah. Because let me tell you, it was a lot more fulfilling to do a DVD on this and at, relatively the weight that I was at, instead of losing all that weight, then thinking I'm going to get a DVD, but coming from that real authenticity and sharing from that place. And to this day, you know, that DVD is the bestseller of all of them that I have. And people say again and again, they've had huge results, but it's also because of the emotional, you know, and mental prompts that I'm sort of laying down during the class. So yeah, it's
Absolutely.
so helpful. So I think I understand what your whole program, but just describe it for people really quickly.
Sure. So the 56-day Rock Your Body Challenge, that is the full shebang 8-week program. In it, it's called Rock Your Body Challenge for a reason, because we're going to rock your body now, right now. So the principles are redefine your relationship with your body. So that's really that's what we're talking about with that mindset, that belief structure, and reforming it to something that's serving you instead of working against you. Overcoming. So the O is for overcoming any obstacles that are keeping you from feeling at home in your body right now. Usually those are around behaviors around food and exercise. So we're going to really tackle, I don't even want to say tackle, but you know, I'm going to teach you how to be a normal eater, like what that means and what that looks like. So to sit down at a meal and not have anxiety around it,
Right.
like that was so freeing the first time it happened for me. And then with exercise, coming at it from a place of pleasure and joy versus punishment and force. Then commit. The C is for commit. So where the 5th week is really about recommitting to the program. Because anytime you're doing a big, long, like 8-week program, inevitably life takes over and you sort of like let yourself go. And I want you to climb back in, hop on board. And then the other part of commit is committing to your growth and healing through self-forgiveness. And the week of this program, I give an actual step-by-step process of self-forgiveness, because I think a lot of people are very general, like you need to forgive yourself. I actually teach you how to do that. And this is the week that the biggest ahas happen. This is the week that people really start to see how hard they've been on their bodies and how much they deserve kindness. And then last is for kick ass, right?
Yay,
so it's going to be,
ass.
So kicking ass through making joy a priority in your life. And then also like taking pride in your appearance. There's actually, I bring in a stylist to work, like to teach
That's
you
awesome.
how to dress for how you are right now. It's a really beautiful program.
It's such a beautiful program. And it's also so comprehensive, because I know you're, you know, again, you're sort of tackling from all levels, the physical, emotional, eating, and then, you know, just the really practical stuff. So before we wrap up, can you give everyone like one actionable step to take with them?
Sure, I would love to. There are so many that I could give, but given that we talked about this idea of like what the want behind the want, so it's like, do you really want weight loss, or do you want something beyond that, something more than that? And for me, it was definitely when I really sat down and thought about it, it was freedom, it was confidence, it was more joy. Those were the top 3 for me. So the tip that I would give is to sit down and start figuring out the things that you can do, the actions that you can take right now to start feeling more free, or whatever your want behind the want is. Like, what is something that would cause you to feel free right now? And if that's take a dance class, if that's take a paragliding class, or trying rock climbing, I don't know, like whatever that is, then do it and let yourself have that experience of freedom, because that's stepping out of your comfort zone. And that's also that's reinforcing the belief that you're enough today. You don't have to wait to continue to live your life. You can live it fully right now. And you can do that exercise with anything. Like if it's, you're waiting to have a boyfriend or a girlfriend, if you're waiting to make more money, it's like figuring out what is it that you really want? What will the more money provide you? What will the relationship provide you? And then how can you give that to yourself today?
Right. Yeah. I always say that. It's, the cliche of like fall in love with yourself first. But when I was really searching for my soulmate, for my partner, I was like, okay, let me take myself on a date. Like, what's the most romantic thing I could imagine doing? What do I really want to do on that date? And then taking myself on that date personally.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, you're feeling all of that from inside.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much. I'm so grateful. I can't wait to see you next week. Yay. Like in person.
Exactly.
But everyone, please go. Amber's got an amazing video. She's an incredible dancer. So she has a great music video on the launch page. It's rockyourbodychallenge.com. But we have all the links below. check out her program. I cannot highly, recommend it highly enough. I'm so grateful to have someone coming into the world and not just offering weight loss program, but let's reframe the whole conversation. You are enough right now. Love your body type, love the body you're in, and revolutionizing and really empowering women. Thank you so much for everything that you're doing. Oh my gosh,
thank you. And everyone watching, I'm having a kickoff party tomorrow. So if you click the links below, it'll give you all the information. It's going to be an amazing call. I'm giving away some serious cool prizes.
Serious gifts. Amazing. So thank you.
Thank you, Ashley. Thank you so much.
Take care, honey.